Within the church, I see that it's working for the people here through the life groups, through prayer, through Bible study, through worship itself. It's helping to grow them as Christians. And then the outreach in the community, helping with God's storehouse and with other ongoing things, or even just one-time things. If somebody needs a ramp built or whatever, and the church goes out and does that kind of work. A time that God surprised me. Actually, it's usually through the kids. It's something, sometimes you feel like when you're working with the kids that they're not getting it, that they're not paying any attention to you. And then you will have that moment that one of them just like tells a Bible story, and not only tells it, but understands it, and you know they understand it, and you think, oh, it is working. God is working in their lives. And you know, I think that anytime you work with children, they will surprise you. Why do I give to the church? First off, because it's biblical. God says we're supposed to tithe, and I do tithe. I give. My first check I write of every pay period is to the church, and it's 10%. Well, you wouldn't have this church building, or any church building really, if there wasn't the generosity of the people within those churches, because it takes money. It takes money to run a ministry. I mean, to a certain extent, people don't like to think of the church as a business, but part of it is a business. I like the lights and the heat to be on, sorry, you know, so I think that you have to understand that if we don't give, the ministry will fall apart. I consider investing in this church or any church a good use of my time and resources, because that's how you're going to grow new Christians. When my kids were in youth group, they had a trip planned and they were coming up short, so they had an ice cream social, and so we wrote a check for like $700 for a bowl of ice cream to make sure they met their goal. I will say, when my husband was sick, I did miss a few, but as soon as things settled down, I went back to what's my normal, which is tithing. I mean, if you can do it, that's fantastic, but if you can't, that's okay too. Start wherever and build from there. And I know families with young children and with lots of expenses, they feel like they can't, but start where you're at, and if you're at zero, start with $5 a week or whatever, and then build from there. I help with Launchpad every week. For whatever lovely reason, I get the second and third graders, which is a lot of boys, and they're kind of rambunctious, but that's okay. What excites me about the Unfinished is really getting a space for the children's program. Excites me because I do children's church and I do Launchpad, and we don't have enough space. And when you have 16 kids even in one of these classrooms off the sanctuary, it's not fun. And when you have 30-some in this classroom, it's not fun. I mean, it's just not enough space. So having space would be a big part of what I look forward to. And having a space that's dedicated to the kids, that's not a shared space, that's their space. So that they feel like they love this area, and just think what it'll be when it's expanded and they have more room of their own. It excites them, and I think it excites parents when they come in and see that you care about the kids, that we're invested in them, we're invested in the future. And that excites me. If it's gonna grow, it has to have money. That's all there is to it. You can't do anything without money in this world, unfortunately.